Call to order the February 9th Township meeting. If you would all rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Laura, you want to do roll call, please?
Kevin Scramlin.
Here.
Janelle Keller. Here. Teresa Bills.
Here.
Jim Christopher.
Here.
Keith Wiederhold.
All right. Approval of agenda with some changes. I know we have one change is in presentations. Tina Rousset from the Holly Library will be in that spot. Janelle, you have a couple?
Yeah, we're gonna add the, resolution. It's actually, you don't have the number on there. It's gonna be 2026-08. It's for adopting the investment policy for Groveland. Where I do think I left a copy of that for you, so you saw what that was, but that needs to be, added just to the consent agenda unless you felt it necessary elsewhere, Teresa.
No,
It's basically just updating the banks for us.
and we can probably mention that in
Yeah.
anyways.
I would personally recommend we also, move up to the consent agenda, approve the closed session meeting minutes and approve the budget workshop minutes. I think that's all my changes. Oh, one more. Discuss the PC annual report. If you looked in there, we actually don't have all the information that we need for how it was passed. So just, it's not going to be the report, it's gonna be just the budget, and we'll have to do the report next month. Did you catch that, Laura? So that,
Is that it?
I would motion then that we approve the agenda for February 9th with the modifications discussed.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, we will open the first public comment. You have 3 minutes. Please rise and state your name. Mr. Donlin, go ahead.
Good evening, Board. My name is Mike Donovan, 3916 Bird Road. Just wanted to make a couple comments. I also sit on the Planning Commission as well. And I wanted just to throw this out to the board and offer some assistance with budgeting. Most of you know my background in municipal budgeting at the county level, and I would be happy to sit down and help you with that for planning and transparency issues, because I was looking for the budget myself. Hence the Planning Commission budget that we had on the board last month. I was like, what was our actuals? Well, I'll move to approve it, but I'd like to see what our expenses were in the past on that. So if there's an opportunity, I'd be honored if you take up my assistance, a volunteer, come in, we'll sit down with the budget, and I can help out in any way, can maybe give some different ideas on how to be more transparent too in that. Second thing is I think our master plan that we had last week went really well. I was really glad to see the number of people there. I estimated around 90 to 100 people based on the number of tables there. I remember the last one we were at was over in the other hall, a much smaller hall, and I was actually with the county at the time when I went and attended that. So I was not only a resident, but I was also with the county. So I think it went well. I think we hit a lot of good themes. But I'd like to make a recommendation. There are many, many other planning tools in the toolbox that Waitrim has. And one of the things that, and I don't know if your budgets allow this, and I talked to a few of you regarding this, but a second workshop that would hone in on the themes that were identified in the first workshop. So some of those things that Waitrim comes up with, and we could really begin to hone in. They got plenty of tools in their toolbox that they could work with the Planning Commission to kind of say, hey, this is what we think could work, and the Planning Commission work with Waitrim to say, okay, we'll do this, and we can have an interactive session with a more focused budget workshop, or well, not budget workshop, but master plan workshop. So I was just suggesting that. And then the other thing too, there's a lot of people in the community that really aren't comfortable with speaking in a public setting, whether you're at a table or like I'm speaking now. And one of the best tools that I've seen in my career is interactive websites, and obtaining information from the public to get their thoughts and ideas on paper, and their thoughts, and then reflect that in our master plan. So if budget allows for doing that, that'd be great. And the last thing I'd like to just kind of say is PC involvement. If we can get, Wade Trim to kind of present a number of tools to the planning commission to say, here's a couple ideas of tools that we think we can hone in on these various themes. We could work with Wade Trim, and then we could also be assistants to Wade Trim at the workshops too as well. Because I think that was one of the things that I was a little bit surprised with. I actually sat at a table and monitored that table. I'm extroverted, so I can go out and I can basically get everybody to, hey, what do you think about this? So I would just suggest a little bit more interaction with Wade Trim, between the PC and Wade Trim. They have plenty of tools in their toolbox to bring to the table, and we can help them select those tools that best fit our community. So just, I think I fit that all into my 3 minutes, and I'll sit down now. I'm gonna go play my Hawaiian tricks.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else?
If I can make a comment, Mike, because you are not the first person to bring this up. Just so you guys know, we go back years, every single month. In this packet is a budget report, and that's with our revenues and expenses. So it shows you exactly what was spent that much, and it also shows us the current budget, and then it oftentimes will show you the amended budget if any amendments have been made. So you can literally go back every month for years and see what was in that budget then, what did they spend last year. So it's all on our website if you go into, our minutes. But you're not the first person to say, well, I wanna see, what are you guys spending on? And it is all there, just so you guys know. So you always have access to that, because I agree with you entirely. I think one of the most important things up here is to, for us to be transparent. So I just wanted to let you know in case you didn't know.
I couldn't find it, so I was,
Oh.
so that's just that transparency.
Yeah.
It is online,
So-
I have seen it, it
So-
is in
It's in
there.
the package.
But you gotta look through each year, like it's not,
Yeah, there-
If you wanna see like every single year, yeah, you have to pull up, the different years, but.
Yeah, and if there's anything I can offer, I'd be honored to help the board with that too, because I've got 26 years of county experience that I can bring to the table, so.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
Anybody else, public comment? Yes, sir, go right ahead.
My name is Chester Coop, and I live in Rose Township. You probably wonder why a guy from Rose Township is here. Well, a couple of reasons. One is I've sat up there in the position that you're in. And while I was on the board of Rose Township, we did a lot of work with Groveland Township. We worked together. Bob and I worked a lot to make sure the state police stayed here. We were basically concerned about issues affecting our communities. And so I was here to speak, and secondly, my place, I live maybe a half a mile from the battery place that they were talking about there off of East Holly Road and stuff. So I want to speak basically to your items J and K, where you're talking about moratoriums on data centers. You all know the impacts they have on our communities, potentially sheer water, aquifers, and so on and so forth. But what I would like to see you have in your discussion about a moratorium on it, I would like to see you pass one. This is developing so fast, and so many of these communities are being overwhelmed with these people coming in and doing it. I worked with a friend of mine who's been the planning commission over at Mundy Township, and they went through this for about a year and a half. But as you talk about moratoriums, I'd also like you to consider adjusting either your administrative policies or your building code, zoning code, whatever, not building code, zoning code, or just general ordinance, and see you adopt a policy or regulations forbidding use of non-disclosure agreements. This is a primary tool that these companies are using. They use them to silence boards, so you're not representing the interest of your community, and they use it as a threat. And whenever I hear of these non-disclosure agreements, I think of the Michigan Department of Economic Development. They use that all the time, and they waste money, and they just use it against the interest of the people of the state. So I would like to see some discussion, adoption, about adopting such a policy.
Thank you.
Bobby Palm on Groveland Road. I'd like to agree with what Chet just said, that non-disclosures are becoming a real prevalent, effective tool for them to try and sneak stuff in. And to that end, I do have a sample of an ordinance you might wanna consider to send to the planning commission, so when we're done, I'll leave it with you. I think it's pretty good, frankly, I got it from Ruth, so I think it's pretty good stuff.
Okay.
And, I'll leave that with you. We would support the idea as well that you not use non-disclosures, because I think they end up, keeping the white light of the public from seeing what's going on. Other than that, I agree with what you said, Chet, so we'll continue on. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am,
I
Stanley.
can say something. Related to the meeting that we had last week,
Mhm.
it was beautiful that there were so many people, but I'm concerned about the results that will come up from that meeting, because I don't think population in general could be able to answer all the questions that were put there. So I'm concerned that the result may not be what those people that answered would be satisfied with, because there was no information. We were required to respond, but not to what. Does it make sense what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I'm concerned that would have been maybe better to be informed first and then say, what do you think about this?
To answer your question a little bit, correct me if I'm wrong, but the results will go to the planning commission, and the planning commission will sift through them. To Mike's credit, I think that's what Mike is saying, is we need to bring those results back to another workshop.
Yes.
I don't know if you wanna use the term narrow it down, but to give you more of a focus. So I'm sure our board will have that discussion.
Because a lot of people didn't even know what BES was.
Sure.
They are not involved in depth to be able to answer responsibly, or anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Carrie Smith, Groveland Township. I want to say thank you to the Township Board and to the Planning Commission for doing something that wasn't being done really in June of 2024, and that is, or even since, until just recently, these past couple of months, and that is joining the boards together. I really appreciate seeing more and more where both boards are at each meeting, or at least more representation than just the ones that sit up there. That says that you're attempting to make sure that you're communicating across the aisles and not just behind doors. So I want to say thank you for that. I also want to say thank you for doing your due diligence as much as you possibly can, because I know that it was a lot of work, and I know it's a lot of work to accumulate. And I'm sure you guys have addresses and whatever else, but I can't imagine if maybe you got any of those mailers back or not. I just can't even imagine the different things, and it's a lot of time and effort to put into those types of things. But we gotta keep it going this way. That's what I'd like to comment. Can we please just keep across the boards and across the aisles and with the communication in the community? I have noticed, since we have our representation from the citizen here tonight as well, that you've begun to put your same stories in the citizen are also showing up in the Tri-County, which is really the area that Vesper's trying to still build, gets the Tri-County over there if they get anything. So thank you for trying to get that out as well. I am noticing, but I do know that we can improve even more, and I am here to assist in whatever ways possible, even if it's ideas or if you need my time and effort. I would like, and I heard a couple things that were actually on my heart and mind as I walked in, and even here, we have got to get something ironclad, something where we say we will or we won't, and it's okay to say no. it's like a parent, if you let your kid do whatever the heck they want, and I'm trying to be as kind as possible, then what are you gonna end up with in the end? So boundaries and structure are very good. It's more than just the money, because if there was a problem, and I'm not trying to repeat things we already know, I agree with what our neighbor said here. There's a lot of people who still don't know, and they only found out for the first time last week what even these energy systems are. So if we could please keep the communication going, that's my big request. Would I have done a few things different last week? Sure, but it's done and over, so how can we move forward from here?
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we will close public comment. Consent agenda, Janelle, you want to do that packet of goodies?
So accounts payables are in there, we did, Chief Williams, I know last month you did have some budget amendments, if you looked already, you'll see I have not made those yet, so they're still on my radar, but I just wanted to let you all know that, I haven't made the budget amendments just yet. The DIA contracts are in there, so you're all familiar with the artwork that's gonna be going around the community right now. We just have to have each of those signed, so, I think you probably have heard where they're all going, but we're waiting for each individual owner to sign those. So you'll see in here are ours, one will go right outside and one will go over kind of by the park. The resolution is for the banks, again, that's just updating the bank accounts. So the major change, there was an old name change from State Bank to Choice One, right? And then there was an addition of First State Bank, that's the only thing really in there. And then we had a closed session meeting, last board meeting, those are closed minutes, not available to the public, but the board does still have to approve them. So we moved those up to the consent agenda, and then the last one was just the budget workshop minutes, which have very minimal content, there are no decisions made in those minutes. We just moved them up so that we can pass them on. So unless you guys have anything on that, I would propose that we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Good enough.
I'll second that. Or did you?
No, Jim, you guys can take it.
You want a roll call that, please, Lauren?
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Weiderhold.
Yes.
All right, presentations, Tina Rousset from the Holly Library. You got some info for us?
Hi, I'm Tina Rousset. I'm the Adult Services Manager at the Holly Township Library. And I noticed that someone was kind enough to make copies. So the library services the Village of Holly, Holly Township, Groveland Township, and Rose Township. Groveland and Rose are contractual entities. So as part of this, we're looking forward and we are discussing becoming a district library with all 4 of those communities. We're just in the early bird stages of planning for all this, but basically a district library is a legally established public library created through an agreement between 2 or more local government units. And it operates as an independent entity with its own governing board and taxing authority. So like the next step for us, I'm on the district library subcommittee of the libraries board. And right now we're in discussion and we are probably going to go to our board's next meeting and recommend that we move forward to becoming a library district, or district library, sorry. Then the entities that would be involved would have to agree to that. And then we would draft a library district agreement. And then it would, like all the lawyers would have to look at it and all that. Once that would be approved, then it would go to the voters for a millage vote. And that would all be decided in the library agreement, which none of this has been decided upon yet. It's a long process, and especially because you have to get all the lawyers to agree, right? But one of the key things for Groveland Township residents would be that you could have a representative on the library board. Currently, the way the library is structured, only Holly Village or Holly Township residents can hold a position on the board. So, it would probably be elected officials, but it would be 2 from Groveland, 2 from Rose. We don't know exactly how Holly Township and Village would work it out, because it would be a total of 7 for an elected board. But it would give us more stability, more financial stability. And then there, even after we make the agreement, like everything has to be transferred. So like right now, you know, the building is owned by the Holly Township Library. So then it would have to be owned by the district library. And even like employees would have to then be employed by the district library. So there's a lot of work in it, but hopefully it would give us a larger financial base and also expand our services. So these fact sheets are up here. We just had a town hall meeting on Saturday, and I'm really a little disappointed. There was one person that I know of that was present that was from Groveland Township. There were several from Rose. So we're hoping also in the future that we could hold a town hall meeting here just for Groveland, and then do the same at Rose to try to reach more of your residents. So.
Tina, have they ever came up with a number yet of how many of our residents use the library on a regular basis?
Yes, I pulled those numbers today. So we have, the one thing I'm not clear about is how many of our card holders are active. But from Groveland, there are 685 active card holders.
I'm sorry, how many?
685.
685.
So, based on the numbers you gave me, just over 10% of your residents have a library card. We have more in our system.
What do you consider by active? I mean, when do you purge your system? I mean, are active,
So-
are they within the last year, 5
No,
years?
so your library card is good for 3 years.
Okay.
So active means your card has not expired.
Okay.
So if you've had a card for 12 years, you're an and you've renewed it 4 times, you're an active member. That I actually came up with almost 1,500 Groveland accounts, and these include kids' accounts too.
Yeah.
But 685 are active or unexpired.
Okay.
So there's more in our system that are, expired. So, and I've been here and I have tried to, get more people in Groveland to get library cards. I know that some people feel like Brandon Library is a lot closer, but we're the library that services you. So, hopefully you'll see the value added. One of the things that's a possibility that if we have more funding, we'll have, more opportunity to do more things here, possibly be here one day a month or one day a week or, things like that.
Do you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I know this is super, super early.
do you have any idea where you would go? Like where you would put it? Or would you just shift from like ownership where you're at?
Yeah, we would not move.
Okay, okay.
And if you haven't been to the library recently, you should stop by because we just had a refresh inside, so.
Sorry, I kinda have two other questions. So I know being elected onto the boards, I assume that that just means in the agreement, we have representation automatically for Groveland Township, cause I know usually those boards are just, you're just elected and you're lucky if you happen to be from Groveland. So is that kinda what you, like, how that would work, is that in the agreements, we basically
Yes, it
reserve
would
2
be in
spots?
it would be in the agreement, and something I didn't mention, prior to having an agreement in writing, a library district planning committee has to be in place, and you would have representation. If Groveland is one of the entities, which that's what we're asking, you know, we wanna keep the same service area that we currently have,
Mhm.
but on the planning committee, Groveland would have representation.
Sure.
I don't know exactly how, you know, like, would you appoint it, would it be one of your board members? You know, I believe that you would have 2 positions on just that planning committee.
Again, I don't know that you'll even have the answer for this, cause I know that there is a lot of planning involved. I know for me, and I have no idea what the board is, you know, even thinking one way or another, but obviously if it went on a ballot, like presidential ballot, like good representation of the community, I don't know if you're thinking that far out, but I guess I personally, obviously I run the elections and I see the little tiny turnouts of the little tiny pocket, and for something like this, it's a big decision, I think, for our community. Are you thinking that far out though? Do you know?
We are hoping to have it, I believe, in the August ballot
So this year?
this year.
Okay.
You mentioned going to the voters for a millage.
Mhm.
Is that the same time as does the district need to become a district library, that needs to be voted on by the voters?
I am not the most clear on the whole, you know, like timeline of the process, because you have to have the planning committee, and then you have to have the agreement, and then I believe that you go for, just trying to see if I had any other notes. And then you would go for the millage. So it would have to be pretty, I mean, we're already in the middle of February, right? We're close. So, to be on the August ballot for a millage, we have to be pretty quick. I don't know, we did that, everything too.
I
It
think
kind of
usually-
does, I mean, I think it'd be difficult to go to the voters with a millage for an entity that doesn't exist yet.
Well, if it would be, if the agreement is set in motion, and then you get the millage, so the district agreement is already in place.
The
And then
boards
they
would have to agree on it
then-
first.
And then the millage would fund the district library.
So the money that we fund with now is
Probably,
not
yeah.
enough, is that what?
I mean, for what they're hoping to
the
do.
assumption that we're looking to increase it and it's not enough?
Well, it would be a millage to your residents.
Well, what do we pay now? How do we pay it now?
What do
Is
you
it
pay,
contracted
$2 a
fee?
resident?
Yeah.
12,000.
$2.
Yeah,
Yeah, $2 per resident,
right.
which is a bargain. But it's my personal opinion.
2 things. You're more than welcome to have a meeting here anytime, you know that.
Yes, I know that.
But as far as this board goes, or as I go, we need to see the hard millage numbers. We need to see the dollar amounts. I guarantee you that before we ever vote on anything, is my opinion. So with your committee, you can tell them from me anyway, they need to come back to us with some numbers. I think that's the only thing that's fair to our residents, the whole board, is we need the dollar amounts and what we're talking.
Well, I do think at the end of the day, though, then the millage then becomes the, if this passes, the numbers would be, for right now, that is the one thing I think as a board we have to consider, is that then they have the power to change the millage at their leisure and no longer ours. Well, maybe the voters, but
Right.
depending on what that looks like.
No.
But I think that is also important.
Sure.
Thank you for giving us the information on the residents.
Can I answer a question or no?
Oh, sure, go
On the
ahead.
audio?
Could you clarify the relationship between the library and the high school? Cause I've heard things that are rumors that you are the source for the high school, that they no longer have.
Yes. As far as I understand it from my coworker, the teen librarian, that we do provide all the books for the high school, but they do not have, Holly High School does not have a library on site. And I believe that we also provide for the middle school. So we have had a huge increase in our number of library cards or library patrons, and that has to do with the fact that the Holly Township Library provides library cards to any student in the middle school or the high school whose parent does not, I believe it's opt out. So they can get a card because it's very difficult for our students to get to the library. So what they do is they place a hold, and then through the transportation department, we package up the books that come in for the students, and then the school district picks them up and takes them to the school, and then, does it the other way around.
So some of the parents of Groveland Township are getting more service than you realized.
Sure.
I was unaware that the high school and the middle school did
It's
not have
strange.
a library.
Yeah, they
I
don't.
was unaware. I've never even heard of that.
Tina?
That's my understanding.
Yeah, I have a question. Thank you so much. Can you expand a little bit on the expanded services that you want to offer, that you would hope to get if this is something that's approved and pushed through? Like, what is it that your vision is?
Well, if there's room and availability, we could possibly have a staff person here, whether it would be one day a month, one day a week, maybe for limited hours. I mean, I've been here a few times during board meetings. Not a lot of people show up. I think I did just a meet and greet one time where it was mostly staff who came and got library cards. And I brought books to check out. So we're trying to reach the Groveland and the Rose Township residents. I mean, I've run into those residents who say, I didn't know that Holly was my library, the Groveland person that was at the town hall on Saturday, mentioned she'd like to see a bookmobile. So that, anyone who was homebound or, in the rural areas of Rose and Groveland, could receive books. Bookmobiles are extremely expensive. You've got a vehicle, and then you've got insurance, and the way our budget is right now, that would be unattainable. One of the things that I mentioned in the past here is Brandon Township has outdoor lockers where people can have their holds placed in the locker, and you could come at midnight or 3 a.m. and get your books. So that's something too, but those are also several $1,000s. So that is another way that we could help reach Groveland and Rose Township.
Question, hi, my name is Jim, down on Maple in the Pine Sub. Two questions actually. So how would this affect, say we were to vote for this, how would it affect like our relationship to like Brandon Township Library? Would they become a part of the district library as well?
No.
Or would we still have just a plain reciprocal membership, or we have to register separately with them, or?
my understanding that if you, our residents that have students that are in Brandon Library, the students they get a card and they're welcome to use it, and I think the parents can purchase one, right? Is it?
Yes, but, as of October first, the Holly Township Library joined the cooperative that is called the Library Network, which Brandon is a part of. So now if you take your Holly Township card, you have what's called reciprocal borrowing privileges. You could go to Brandon, you can go to Genesee District Library, you can go to Highland, Springfield. Each individual library, though, has their own rules as to the reciprocal borrowing. You may only be able to go in and borrow X number of books. You might not be able to borrow DVDs. You know, it's each individual one. But that is new as of October 1st. Holly Township is also, the library we're working towards joining what's called the shared system through the library network. Brandon is not in the shared system currently, but Springfield is. And so are 50 other libraries. So it will enable interlibrary loaning to expand. So instead of you having to wait maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks for a book, you may get it in less than a week because it's coming from the library network.
Okay.
So.
And I also was wondering, for the programs that are anticipated and what you plan, is there like a jump parameter, like what you want to say? We will do anything, like we'll do 5Ks, we'll do this, but we won't touch religious organizations or any, like, one thing I hear a lot in the news is like a drag queen story hour, we won't do that. Is there like a plan of like, say, no, we can do this, we can do whatever you want, or we're gonna hold back on certain things? Is there plans for how you, any of those?
I don't think that we have a policy or a plan on that right now. We try to cater towards, I do adults, so I have adult programming. Rodika is in my book club, my adult book club that we have during, you know, every month. You know, I try to cater to what I think or what people have asked me about for adult programming. Our story time during the month is a normal, you know, story time, singing, dancing, reading stories. So we don't really have a policy per se. You know, we try to cater to what people have told us they want. Yes?
This might be a little bit into the weeds, but under what public act would you be forming this? And would it be a taxing authority in and of itself?
Well, I don't know if that is cited on here. It's under, there is a Michigan Act that is specific to the District Library Establishment Act. So if you picked up this sheet, and there are more copies, and I have lots more here. I also have some in Spanish. If you scan the QR code, you can direct specific questions to Joe Mishler, who is our subcommittee chair. And Joe has read the act probably 20 times, and I have barely gotten through the actual legalese part of it once. So I know that there is an act.
It is my understanding that they are their own taxing authority.
Yes, so we would, instead of like Holly Township right now collects our millage, that we would be collecting the millage.
Does Holly area schools pay the library for taking care of the fact that they got rid of their library? Because I just talked to my nephew who Brandon Schools has a library.
Yeah.
does the school district pay Holly Library right now for the extra services that they're causing you?
No.
I was gonna ask that same question.
So, a lot of district libraries across the state include a school district, because that's allowed as part of the district library. We can't do that because Holly area schools kind of infringes on part of the Springfield Township Library area, service area. So like you could live in Springfield Township and send your kid to, is it Davisburg Elementary? Okay. I don't live out here.
Or Rose Pioneer.
Well, but Rose Pioneer is in Rose Township.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's kids from Springfield Township going to Rose Pioneer.
Oh, you're getting sticky. So we can't include the school district because then we would be taking, people away from Springfield Library. Because we considered that.
Sure.
And we were advised to not open that can of worms.
The library has services maybe beyond what you guys would have guessed. I went in and talked to one of the people. I was trying to get very technical information on the chemistry of bass, and I couldn't find it online. They got me a book from Michigan Tech. So their reach is everywhere. That took a week to get.
We tried.
When are your board meetings, on Saturday, the first Saturday of the month?
No, so our library board meetings are typically the fourth Monday of the month at 7 p.m. So the next one is, today's Monday, right? 23rd, right? 23rd, the 23rd.
7 p.m.?
Mm-hmm. And we actually are going to have a library district subcommittee meeting on the 17th. And if I had my phone up here, I would be able to tell you what time, but it will be posted. I think that is during the day. And the district library meetings are open meetings also.
I'll post it.
It'll be posted on the website.
What day is the Aaron Brockovich movie? Last time I was told it was either gonna be this month or next month, and they weren't sure, and it's part of.
And I have that note, I have that note on my calendar, so I will schedule that for you.
Did you have something, Carrie?
I just have a quick question for the board and for you, Tina. I have access to somebody who worked for a district library and retired from that library. If they would be a wealth of information to you, are you interested in that? Getting that person in contact with you?
Sure.
Any of you?
Sure. I mean, I contacted several, district libraries, and the directors had nothing bad to say about, they all had positive comments about their library becoming a district library. And the major thing is that it offers stability, for funding. So, ours is a little different just because of all the townships involved, I think.
No, go ahead.
Do you have available your budgets for us to look at, just to see what it's been the last few years?
It is on the website.
It's on the website, okay.
Thank you, Tina. If you could get me some more information over on that,
Sure.
I would appreciate it.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Tina. Presentations. All right, we are going to, I will open the public hearing on the Appropriation Acts for the budget of 2026-27. Should know, I know you said you had a couple of things you wanted to touch on before.
I did, so this is up under packets online, I'm gonna do my best. So I wanted to bring this up though. You can't touch it. Give me a moment. Most of you probably have seen this. The highlighted are things that since you received it, I went ahead and modified because I made errors. And certainly we can make any changes as necessary. So for the Appropriations Act, basically this is what we're looking at. It is many pages, but these are, this is a good chunk of them. There are some additional pages that are included in the full packet, but these are the ones that I made some changes to. So, this was just updated from the original to reflect the correct number. I had last year's number plugged in there. You can see here though, estimated funds going out and coming in. They do balance out for general, building and fire. Millage levy is included there. Again, nothing has changed. Again, right now I'm just kind of glancing over some of these changes since they went out. And then Kevin, if you want to, go over some highlights.
Sure.
This screen is making it look like it's not centered, but I promise it is. This one right here was modified. This was just to clarify that we actually have 2 LGIPs. They were listed on that banking document that you saw in that resolution that we are passing. So all of this is pending. We approve everything this evening. There's that resolution again. So this is currently in there. This has been our last one that was modified a few years back, I believe in 2022. Bank name corrected in 2023. This would be replaced with that resolution that you had in front of you. This was just, so this is where some of our authorized salaries start. Some changes, again, these were fat fingers. So this I had a 3 instead of a 10, it should have been a 10. This I had a 5 instead of a 10, so change the 10 there, and then this one updated that figure. Your resolution numbers, we will have approved, but I have them highlighted here so that you know those numbers will be filled in, 2026 dash. I can tell you what they are if you want. Supervisor is 003, clerk is 004, treasurer is 005, and trustee 006. So those numbers will be reflected there. I had an increase in utilities from 27 to 25. That should have said 35. Utilities seem to be going up. This was simply removed because it was a duplicate statement. I had it listed above. So that's board member training, $25 per training. We currently have come across a number of scenarios where we weren't sure whether we paid people or not. So if they attend training, it will be $25. If it is over 3 hours, then approved to pay $50 for a training. That is not for elected officials. I'm sorry, it is not for clerk's salary or treasurer.
Supervisor.
Yeah, that's the one. This was the last one that, whoops, come back. When we talk about this one, I just wanted to make sure that we had clarified what we wanted to do with those funds. And then this is all updates on fire, so we can see specifics for how the pay is, what the pay is this year. This is what I added, so all the yellow is what was modified, so that is not in what you have. We got that from John Williams, so that we had the update. So I'll leave it up there for a second if you want, because that's a little bit more information than those other ones. Okay. So this is just to clarify what everybody is. Can you see it okay? Any questions on that? All right, I think I'm getting through most of my changes on this. Oh, the biggest difference here is this is just to indicate that this is our general fund, which is both 101 and 249, which is general fund and building department. So that's the combination of those is included in that $2 million number. And I think that was all of the modifications that I had. So that is appropriations themselves.
Janelle? Maybe you mentioned it, but I didn't hear it on page 7, when one of the top bullet items of board review pay, when you pay $20 when sitting during board sessions, did you mention that's per hour board review?
Oh, no, you know what, I did change it, but I didn't highlight it, thank you. So right here, we had originally typed, board of review pay will be $20, and that should say per hour when sitting, so when they're actually at their board sessions,
Yeah.
which are usually anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours, they get $20 per hour.
Good.
I'm good.
I'll just touch on a few things. So the millages, we left the same as they were last year. Township is 0.9557. Fire is 3.5. We raised, the raises for the elected officials, was 3%, which is what has been done the last few years. The township HRA and stuff is paid per state of Michigan guidelines. A few changes this year. You'll notice we allocated $15,000 for new election tabulators that are going to be mandated by the state. I don't think we know exactly when yet, though, do we?
No, it's possible it won't go in until next year, but we know that they are coming soon. They are going to mandate that we purchase new equipment for elections.
We increased the planning consultant line to $35,000 this year. Most of that is due to the work on the master plan. We increased legal to $60,000, up a little bit. A few things there. We still have the KOA. Of course, there's going to be work on the master plan, legal, the ordinances that are coming up with township development and stuff. We upped that a little bit. We put in $12,000 for professional service experts. That is if we decide to hire somebody to help with the renewable ordinance, or we talked about seeing about the Tech Park brownfield again, if anything's possible there. Cable and PEG expenses, we approved $72,000. Most of that is for a new server and stuff. The server for our cable station has lived past its lifetime, so there's a bunch of upgrades there. That's also, we're gonna put a camera and microphones in this boardroom, so that our recording quality is better for everybody. We did approve $25,000 to pave the approach at Larian Road and Dixie Highway. The road commission obviously made some concerns about that. It is not in great condition anyway, but, and a new one on there is we did approve $2,700 for NFPA, that's National Fire, and that's for building and fire, then we'll have access to their codes and regulations with that subscription, so we did put that in the budget. Beyond that, everything is pretty, oh, one thing I did want to touch on, I'm sorry. I don't think Janelle mentioned that, constitutional revenue sharing, they changed our number from 630 to 636. And I think I mentioned last fall, so the state did cut us 6%. So when you look now, it says we only lost 1.2%. The reason for that is they keep bumping the sales tax estimate up a little bit. But regardless of that, if you look at that total number, you can basically add about another 5%, which is basically like $32,000 that it cost us this year. So I think we need to be cognizant of that going forward. I'm sure they are going to keep trying to peel us a little bit every year. So I just wanted to bring that up. With that, I will open it up to any of you guys. Have anything? Teresa?
The one thing within this budget is, that recommended PC budget. And Keith, you probably can comment on this a little bit better than I can, but they recommended $10,500 for planning commission and another $1,000 for training. I'm just gonna pull this up so you can see where we're at right now. If I can find it for you, shout at me if you see it. We should be getting close.
Is it in the red?
There it is. Oh yeah, the ones that I put in red right there.
It's in red.
So we are at $5,520 this year. from our budget that was allocated of $9,500. We have $500 that was allocated for training, and we have not used any of that. Now, we did also do the premium pass this year, which we decided not to do moving forward, correct? I do have that in our
That's what we decided.
so, I don't know, could that have changed, maybe, if we didn't have that program, I don't know, but we haven't used any. So that is, I did put that in red so that I made sure we talked about it, whether or not we wanted to modify that.
The numbers were, talked about in the planning commission, but that's what we had discussed in our budget
Right.
meeting. And historically, those numbers were the same, so they just went with it, but there was some concern about, consultants, cost for consultants, but we had that somewhere else in the budget.
Yes, we may have even added a little to them, because I think we,
No, we did, I said that.
yeah, thank you.
So are you saying that the planning commission put that in their actual budget that they were asking for?
The numbers that we had, in our budget workshop, the numbers that we plugged in for that based on the historical data is what the planning commission is using, but there was concern about if they had to hire, industry consultants for any of these, any of the ordinances or anything coming up, the WIO, anything to do with that or anything that the technology is above the numbers. If we had to bring somebody in, they wanted to be able to cover that cost, but I know we talked about that and had that somewhere else, so it's covered.
So the planning commission budget, is for
the salaries and then some trainings.
Okay.
$500 in trainings, or $1,000 in trainings.
So they're 10,500 compared to what we put in there, which is,
9,500 and 500.
okay, so they're basically asking for an extra $1,500.
Yes. Wasn't there, zoning board of appeals is in that same, there's money in there for that too, right?
No, zoning board of appeals is a separate line.
But Jeff looks at it as two because he's the chair of both.
Oh.
So if we combine those two, is the way he's thinking of it?
I believe so.
So then we do have enough money in the budget.
I think so.
Oh, I think so. I mean, they've ran pretty true.
So,
If you go back and look.
just some insight on this, I think is only the second year that the planning commission has done this. It is supposed to be how, like, they're supposed to do this every year.
Right.
But I think this is also very new, for our planning commission to kind of be a part of this budgeting. So I'm sure over the next couple of years, as we kind of figure it out, I think it'll be a little bit easier for everybody to come up with numbers and what's appropriate and exactly what they want to spend it on. We have a still kind of new planning commission for a couple numbers, so.
Yeah.
So leave it as is.
Well, they're asking for 10,500 plus 1,000, so 11,500. But that combined total up there is 12,000. So that's well within what they're asking. If they're asking for, like you're saying, if Jeff's considering both boards together as what that budget is.
Then there's plenty there.
Then I believe we've covered what they need, and
So there's the other 2,000 there for ZBA, which we are close to that one, but
what I'm hearing Kate say is that Jeff is considering
Right,
both
both of
together
those.
in that budget.
right, and I'm saying I agree with you. I think it's all
Okay.
there.
We're there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that only that other big one that we had was that 350,000.
Yeah. So that 350,000, I was looking at that and I was trying to remember. So we owe Barry one final payment.
Yep.
When the punch list is finished and everything passes.
Yep.
And that's 274,000 and some change. So this is 76,000 more.
In changes that we approved.
Changes, okay, so this isn't, I keep going back to, last year we approved $400,000
Yep.
for other expenses that,
And that's what that 76 would come out of.
so that is part of that we
Yep.
didn't spend so far yet.
Correct.
Okay,
It was approved through the board, but we have not written a check for it yet.
right, and that is still sitting there because we haven't spent all 400,000.
Right.
Okay, so really, this is just carrying over the 274 from the original contract and then 76 from what we allotted last year that hasn't been spent.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? I'll open it up for public questions. If anybody has any, please feel free to ask them. You guys are an easy bunch tonight. All right, we'll close public questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
How many utilities, 29,000, how many buildings is that for?
That's just ours, and then we do also have streetlights.
Well, the streetlights were set, so it's just this facility.
I'm sorry, currently, which actually you bring up a good point, because next year that will look different. We didn't consider that in the budget meeting. We currently also pay for utilities for Fire Station 1 because of the MSP, so that is kind of our contribution. Since this next year, we didn't really consider that. So since this next year, at some point, within the new building, MSP and the fire department will be on separate meters, so they will then absorb their own utility costs.
2 weeks ago, DTE raised the rate 11%. Did you know that when you named the budget? Okay. Lot worse than inflation.
Yep. No, they're terrible.
So I guess, yeah, we leave?
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
it's way too much. Anybody else?
You should pick up a big savings there though, because you won't be paying for the police upstairs, which is probably the most inefficient heating and cooling system we've ever had.
Yeah.
Right? And the old building has gotta be pretty inefficient too.
Yeah.
So the new building should be a lot better. And both of those.
Right.
Well, let's hope. How's that? Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to comment, something that I've noticed before today, and I don't know what a solution is. I know I try to bring solutions, but to this one, I really don't 100% know. But it seems like our fire department is well underpaid. And that, I mean, I don't know how that's been compared or not across the board with other townships or whatever, but it seems like, you know, they're handling situations that are, obviously they're called first responders for a reason, whether it's accidents or fires or whatever. And I don't know if there's something that over the next 6 to 12 months could be looked at for that. I know that anytime there's ever been anything on a ballot, it always gets approved by our township votes. But, I don't know, I'm just saying I think they deserve to make at least another $1 an hour. $21 an hour is the highest paid, unless I read that wrong. It went a little quick, but that just seems a little underpaid to me.
Did we go over this?
I have a family member who's a first responder, and when she started, she made more than $21 an hour, so I just feel like that's a little low. I know I'm on record, I just feel like they deserve more, the end.
So that was just for part-time, but yeah, I think probably missed that.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna turn it over to John.
Okay.
To go over the fire.
You are
budget.
correct on
Fire
that.
budget is separate, so I'm gonna let John have the floor.
You are correct. We're trying to come up with alternative means of funding so we don't have to raise a millage, because everybody has a lot of fatigue from that right now. So on this year's budget, I proposed a 10% increase for our full-time firefighters, the 3, and that still leaves us about 20,000 short of what the surrounding average is. Raised Sergeant Millar's 17%. Next month, she's gonna be a certified fire inspector, and then she'll be our fire marshal. 5% for me. Our HRA is set at the state maximum, so that goes into account for them, and that's all accounted for. Our rental house, right now, it's not being rented, we're using it for a training facility, and hopefully sometime in the late summer, we'll be demolishing that, whether we'll be able to burn it down or just tear it down. We'll have to decide that later. Our contract continues to be the same with the Renaissance Festival this year. It's up for renegotiation next year. We have no projected revenue from grants, although we've been doing quite well on them, and we do have our Safer grant that's gonna be coming up for award notification, so hopefully we fall within that, and that will give us 2 full-time firefighters that'll be covered under that grant for 3 years, which will greatly help our budget. Increased contractual services to $60,000 due to the increased cost of the county dispatch, and Department of Health and Human Services increased their funds that we have to pay them. We increased our dues and subscriptions because everybody is increasing their rates. That's our mutual aid system, our active 911, which we use to notify the firefighters on our cell phones, and our when-to-work system and things like that. Increase our HRA and Social Security withholdings to match our payroll. Increased our shift pay to $584 to cover the cost of the raises that the other fill-ins and firefighters have gotten. So that puts firefighter medic at $21 an hour and an EMT at $19 an hour. And with up to an additional $1 an hour stipend for their engineer status once they can drive the fire truck and pump it. I do request we remove the $1 an hour stipend for the fleet engine
Oh, yeah.
manager, because it was rolled over into the sergeant job description.
Okay.
Increase their utilities to $40,000 due to the new station. It's quite a hefty heating bill over there now, comparatively. Increased our medical supply cost to $20,000. I believe it was a $3,000 increase. Adding an additional $10,000 to our repair and maintenance budget brings it up to $50,000. Almost all of our trucks are coming up due for new tires on it, and it's between $3,000 and $5,000 to replace the tires on any one truck. And I increased our professional development to $5,000. That's to cover the cost of the required training and conferences that our fire marshal and instructor coordinator have to go to. And that covers me.
Covers you?
I'm sorry, Don, just to clarify, so this is he's just getting the $1 an hour in there.
Correct, just for the sergeant position, and that is in
Okay.
the job description.
So, but the fleet manager is getting $1 per hour more?
No, there is no fleet manager.
So this-
He is now a sergeant.
We just don't have a
Position.
fleet manager now.
Correct.
Okay. Mhm.
John, when we talked before, you said the tires, they changed the rules on the tires, we had to replace them more frequently.
Yeah, before, 2 years ago, they changed it. You could break it down every 10 years and inspect the tire and the rim, and they redid the DOT requirements, so now it's every 7 years. It's just a straight replacement, unfortunately. So it does add quite a cost. Especially when you're talking 11 vehicles, we have to do that too, so.
It doesn't matter condition, it's all age.
Yep, if they could look perfect on the outside, be brand new, still have to replace them.
Alright, anybody got anything else? Good?
I'm good.
Alright. With that, I will make a motion. Alright, no more questions, I will close the public hearing. Janelle gets all jumpy if I don't do that. With that, I will make a motion that we approve the Appropriation Act for the budget 2026, 2027 with the, pending the changes that we made.
And approval of
And approval
resolutions.
of the resolutions tonight.
Second.
All those in favor, oh, you better roll call. Actually, wake up.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Wiederhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes. All right.
First one.
Oh, you took some of them out, didn't you?
Yeah, I only took out B and C, and D is done.
So we just need to, approve Township Fire and Board meeting minutes from our January meeting.
I had, I think, a correction in ours. Under supervisor,
It's Wells instead of.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
yeah, Wells, yeah, and the one bullet point above it that references Lisa McLean, the last part of it, someone's gotta explain it, and spoke with appropriations.
Here, about, that was you.
Oh, should have been about, yes.
That's all that I found.
Change the word with to about.
Yeah, are you with us on that, Laura?
Sure. Just typing.
I had a couple too, on page 4, under Camp Tamarack, the second bullet point has a but the, just kinda lingering there. Invoice was provided for snacks offered, oh, it was probably supposed to say, but they have to be kosher maybe, I don't know, but, oh no, that's in the above. So I think you could just remove the but the, and that would be fine. And then, page 2, under B, the board met jointly to ensure alignment on whether to proceed with a work in progress ordinance. We want workable and compatible ordinance, right?
That was not what was said.
But that's why we make corrections. That's all.
Anybody else?
I will make a motion that we approve the minutes of January 12th, 2026 with the, for fire and township with the corrections as noted.
Support?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we put B and C in the consent, so we're down to D, which we did away with report, and we're on the budget that we just
What
took.
do we do, fire?
I included fire.
I was gonna
and
say,
fire.
put both in there, too. Which is D, but we just did that, didn't
Yeah, so D's done, cause we
Yeah.
absorbed it up top.
we? We just did.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have resolutions on the salaries. So like I said, they were all 3% raises for the elected, so the first resolution would be for the supervisor would be 2026-003. Would you roll call those, Laura, please?
We have to do motion and support first.
We do? Sorry.
So, my motion that we support
apologize.
resolution 2026-003. To approve the supervisor's salary?
Okay. I'll support.
Laura, would you roll call, please?
Teresa Bills,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Wiederhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes.
Resolution 20026-004, to establish, salary for the clerk, I will make a motion to pass, that resolution, please.
I'll support.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Leaderhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bells.
Yes.
2026-005, treasurer salary. I'll make a motion that we pass that.
Support. Oh, go ahead, Keith has that. Keith Leaderhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bells,
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-006, salaries for the trustees. Make a motion that we pass that.
Support. Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bells,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Leaderhold.
Yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to open up for discussion with the board, so Lisa McLean's office, it's appropriation season, and they've actually moved the date up. I'm sure it has something to do with the late budget, but it was April 4th, now they moved it up to March 3rd. So basically, I wanted to throw it out to you guys, if you had any ideas of something that you would like to file for. I can tell you right now, they love infrastructure and public safety. Those are the two, we stand a chance of doing something on.
Can we get money to put towards our fire station number 2?
That's certainly something we can file for.
Yep.
And we can file for multiple. You don't have to just do one, I think you can do up to 5, I believe.
Well, how about for the, roundabout?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Oh, that'd be huge.
Isn't this MDOT pay for that?
That's a whole nother story I'll tell you about.
Yeah,
Yes.
change.
So that additional that they're wanting, maybe that could be something.
Yeah, that'd be big.
I'm trying to figure out, I talked to somebody about that today, I don't know if we can file for that unless Oakland County says they're gonna put in their part.
Why not?
Because our part's non-existent without Oakland County doing their part.
Would it be any different than applying for the fire department? We don't have anything,
As far as what's that?
like for the fire department building, it's not really any different, is it?
Yeah, because remember I said there's basically, they went to 3 phases now. You had the original MDOT one, which they say, we have the money for that, but oh yeah, it's not big enough. Oakland County, we need 1.5 million. Oakland County's balking. Then they said, well, with your guys' development, you're still gonna have to add on extra after that. But if Oakland County doesn't put in the 1.5 million, our part will never exist.
I think it's worth trying.
Well, I'm trying to get Oakland County to go in together, so that
Yeah.
we could get both of us to do it.
Yeah.
So that's,
How much was it gonna be again? Just so that they know.
Oakland County was gonna end up putting in like 1.4, and we were gonna end up putting in like 600,000, 610,000 or something.
So, yeah, can you explain that again? I know we talked about it, but.
Yeah, obviously Bob knows, but MDOT came out with the original drawings of these roundabouts.
I feel like they were a used car salesman now, like.
It's like this, the lines coming down.
The fact of the matter is that they jumped the gun, and they did their drawings without their traffic studies. So then now they've came back with these traffic studies, and they say, well, if we build these, basically, they're gonna be, I can't remember the term they use, but by the year 2037, they're not gonna be practical, they need to be larger. But they've already got the money through the feds for the safety grant. So the feds won't give them no more money. So now they came to Oakland County and said, well, to make this work, it's gonna cost you guys about another $1.5 million to make the roundabouts bigger. Then they came to me and said, oh, by the way, if you guys are gonna do something in that tech park, you're gonna add more traffic.
They knew all that though, day
Bob,
one.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So they said, you're gonna owe us 600,000 because you've gotta put a couple extra things in. So the real kick of it is Oakland County tells MDOT, we've never given you money. We're not paying a dime. My question then was, I said, where did you come up with the money for our, the numbers for our tech park? I said, you don't know if we're gonna have 10,000 cars in there a day or 10 cars. And he tells me, he said, well, we talked to your developer. I said, well, that's interesting, because we don't have a developer.
Missed that part.
And I've
can tell you
never
what
heard,
that
and I've
might have
never
been.
heard another word from him.
Yeah, that, I probably told them at that time, you need to touch bases with Barry at Bedrock, because his truck traffic
Yeah.
goes in on that ramp. And one of the things I had told him is you need to make sure, because those were smaller roundabouts than normal.
That's why I
And
said,
you need to make sure that the trucks can still get around them. And Barry didn't seem to have any problem with that, so I don't know what traffic number they think, but that would be the closest to a developer.
yeah.
And all that stuff was brought up at the beginning and
No.
never told us we were gonna pay anything.
The long story short is MDOT has dropped the ball. on
Yeah.
this, is where it's at. So now, of course, Oakland County tells me they're bluffing, they'll do it anyway. I don't know what they're gonna end up doing.
He might be right,
I'm not saying he's wrong,
yeah.
so we'll find out.
I don't
But
know
I
if
had
you can
thought
get him
about
to admit it, but you might be right.
So I had thought about the roundabouts.
How about money toward library services? Maybe?
Bookmobile.
Actually, I wrote that down.
Did you?
You can rent, I mean, I'm like, why don't we just buy a, or not buy, but rent one of the big limousines? Like, I feel like that would be actually a relatively cheap service. Occasionally, you don't do it all the time. You rent them for, I mean, people rent them all the time to go to parties. They rent a party bus.
They used to have a bookmobile that came here every week,
Yeah.
but it
Then the
stopped coming
insurance
because
is
nobody
theirs.
used it.
You what?
It stopped coming here after, I don't know, 6 months or whatever, because nobody was using it.
Yeah.
Most of that stuff that she talked about, I think they tried with the library at previous intervals. And one of the things they did, your questions were well suited, Kevin, for how many actually use it, because one of the things they did when we started using the library was, if you could walk and chew gum, you got a library card. Okay, so they had like 3,000 of them at one time, but I don't think hardly anybody was using them.
Well,
I think it's a nice little library, I'm
685.
just saying, you need to find out who actually uses it, and you know, in our
Yeah.
township, half the people live on the other side.
Absolutely.
And so it'll be interesting to see what she can come up with, but the book thing, called it Bookzilla, used to come here every week, parked there, nobody ever used it, and after a while, they just stopped coming.
Yeah.
Janelle, did you not hear me say public safety and infrastructure? Where does limo for books?
Well, no,
fall
I
into
just meant
that?
investing in their services.
For sure.
But I did think that bookmobile, they could just rent a party bus for a few days for a couple $1,000s. Insurance would be on the party bus and stock it with books and drive around, and we'll make this work.
So roundabouts and fire station, did anybody have anything else? Any other ideas?
How about equipment for the fire department? Is that on the?
That would
Yeah,
be,
under
yeah,
public safety,
that'd be
sure.
great.
Yeah, and I've gotta ask, I don't know if equipment falls under that or not, but I can ask, for sure. Anything else?
New tires for all the vehicles.
There you go.
Mine included.
You gotta paint it red though.
If they buy new tires, I would paint it red, the tires cost anymore. Anything else? Any other ideas? Or if
Well,
you think
I'll
of something
keep
else
thinking.
past tonight, like I said,
Yeah.
we have to March
Yeah.
3rd, but,
Okay,
and actually, the forms are surprisingly not that bad to fill out.
okay.
They're not bad.
I would like to get a water test, some water
Oh,
testing
yeah.
done too. I don't know if that would come out of that or if that's something from the county, but if we could do some baseline water testing on the township properties.
I will do my homework on it.
That'd be, yeah, that'd be a good one.
I don't know, that might fall under a different grant, but they can point me in the right
Yeah.
direction. Okay? Like I said, if you think of something else, let me know. I'll be glad to work on it. All right, letter J, moratorium on data centers.
Just 2026-007 is the correct number for that.
Few things. First, I'd like to thank Janelle. She did a lot of work on this and helped me quite a bit, so thank you. I
Yeah, that's like a 2026
I'll just give you a quick spiel. I think it's the right thing to do, and I think it's a smart thing to do for our township. The one that we have in front of us, we have proposed for a year. You can lengthen it or shorten it, but we have proposed it for a year. Part of that is the planning commission, between the master plan and the renewable energy ordinance, I don't wanna say they're tied up for 6 months, but they're gonna have a lot on their plate going forward. So it might be after 6 months before they ever even really get to work on the data center ordinances. So that's one thing I wanted to look at. The other thing is, I'm sure you guys watch the news, read the paper, these things are riddling townships. I mean, just tearing local government, communities apart, a lot like we've experienced with the best, probably only worse. I've talked to some that it'll really make your stomach turn when you hear what has happened. So I thought it was the right thing to do, try to give our township some time to get our feet under us, get some things in order to protect the residents, the entire township, and have things done, hopefully, so the things that happen in this community are what we want to happen in this community. So I think we need to do our due diligence. Moratorium isn't a vacation. It just allows you time to get our ducks in a row and get some things done. But I would love to hear what all you guys had to say. I'm done preaching about it.
I personally, have been against data centers from day one. I don't wanna see one come anywhere near here. And, I think that there's a lot of things that are still, unknown about long-term effects. I mean, other than the fact that they suck up all the electricity and the water, there's other health effects on humans that are anywhere near it. So I wholeheartedly support this. I read this whole thing and I would like to know if it's appropriate or if we should put something in here. I mean, this is saying we're not even gonna entertain looking at somebody's, application, right? This is to actually like, you know, delay anybody even giving us an application for it, right?
Correct.
But
Yep.
I also feel it's important to say that, we won't even entertain an application that includes any type of non-disclosure agreement. I just don't think those are what's best for anybody involved. They make everybody look shady, and, I don't know if we can write that into a resolution, because it might not belong there.
Would that go into Lyle?
I
could
agree
go
with
in a
you, but
while.
I think we need to do the non-disclosure by itself.
separately. I don't
Okay.
think it needs to be attached to data center, I think it needs
I
to
think we
be
just need to do the
period.
NDA on its own. Go ahead.
For
Can I ask
everything.
a question, Kevin? I'm just curious, because they use that as such a, they being the industry,
Yeah.
uses that as such a prolific tool in townships to try and slide in. Has anybody on our board ever been approached for a non-disclosure? I'm not aware of one I ever saw. And actually, I think it may be, and it probably is, at least unethical and maybe illegal to do it, because there's only two things you can keep from the public in a municipality, and that's, if you're dealing with a problem with an employee and that employee doesn't want it discussed in public, you can't bring that forward. And the, only other thing is if you're, let's say you're trying to sell or buy a piece of property and you have a meeting and you say, well, we might pay $1 million, but we'll see if we can get it for 800,000, because obviously it takes the edge away. Other than that, you can't have anything that's non-disclosure to a public, so.
Right.
If you haven't had any, if nobody's had one, that's good, and I think you're right. If you make it a separate issue, it just helps solidify that thought.
Yeah, and I'd like to get that from you.
Yeah,
And maybe next month we could put that on, but I'd like to keep them separate, the moratorium and the NDA, I'd like to keep it separate myself.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think it needs to be just blanket, not attached.
Jim?
I'm 100% for the moratorium.
Yes.
Just a little tiny bit to add to this, just so you know, I did run this by Will, and he thought that this was good, and thought it was a good idea for the community for right now.
Excellent,
Just so that you know there was attorney support behind it.
thank you.
Yep.
Yep,
Alright.
well, yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-7, instituting a 1-year minimum temporary moratorium on approval of data centers.
Support.
Laura, would you roll call that for us?
Janelle Keller,
Yes.
Teresa Bills,
Yes.
Jim Christopher,
Yes.
Keith Leaderhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes.
You have a question?
You'll do your public comment.
Okay.
That,
Public comment.
that would bring up the next point. Teresa, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I meant to hand these out to you guys. Yeah, I'm going fast, Jim. Go ahead.
We want down here?
Yep. So I stole this from Howell, is who actually started this. It's an idea I like. It's they put together a resident research advisory committee for data centers. It's something I thought might be a good idea to do in our township. I think it'd be a good way, maybe that committee could even get a head start at looking at some stuff before the planning commission did. Here's how I see it. I think it'd be a 5 or 6 member committee. I want a bipartisan committee. I want the good and the bad. I know everybody's gonna write down 100 million things that are bad about the data center, which could be true, but there's probably also some good things, and we need that all to be out in the open for the planning commission and this board. I guess in my opinion, we'd have people apply and then have the board appoint. We would need the chair, and the chair would be the one that would, report directly to the planning commission or this board. This committee has no decision-making power, no power to make any decisions. It's just a fact-finding committee, to report back to the boards. Now, in all clarity, I will be honest, I think this is a great idea. It kind of blew up in Howell. They didn't put it together correctly, in my opinion, to begin with. When I referenced areas that have been torn apart by it, Howell is one of them. I mean, they got to the point they have somebody on this board that don't even live in their township. So I love the idea, but I think we need to do it right. And that's why I brought it to you guys. Is this something you wanna work on and go forward with? If you don't think it is, speak up and say that too.
I like it.
You know?
I like it.
No, I do like it. Is there anybody that doesn't like it? No? Well, then I think since I'll volunteer Ms. Keller, her and I will work on this.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And,
So this
Thank you.
example's got four people listed there. Would that be your vision to have 4 people on that?
I'd like to have 5 or 6. You're gonna laugh when I tell you this. Howell actually set no parameters on how many people can be on it. They just set the chairs, and whoever shows up, shows up. But like they told me, everybody that shows up is totally against it. So they're not really getting any use out of it. It's just, I'm not gonna tell you what the person told me. It's just another way for people to show up.
So that just reminds me of what happened here in 2024 when, you know, and even Rodica mentioned, there were people at the master plan meeting, right, that never even heard of some of the things that we were having issues with. And so I call it coming late to the party. Once they come late to the party, then they've got to vent and say all, you know, and because we want to be heard. And so I think leaving it open like that, it just opens up the idea that new people are gonna show up, and then you'll never get past square one because you're constantly re-educating and so on, but,
I totally agree, and I
Yeah.
tell you, I've sat on many committees, and I hate to say too many people is too many people, but I've sat on committees that got 15, 20 people on them, and nothing ever gets done.
Right.
I think we're better off with 5 or 6, and get some good out of it.
yep. Well, I'd say I support that. I think putting some parameters and some limits on, you know, how many people is a good thing. How would you suggest going about getting these? I mean,
Well, I think we'll just put it out for application, don't you? Have people apply for it, I mean, that's the fairest way to do it.
do we know how many people have put in their email address on our website yet? Okay, because I think that
Sure.
hopefully we're getting more and more people who are putting, how many people here have put their email in on our website for?
To get the minutes.
To get
and
the
The
newsletter?
recent one.
The little pop-up window that comes up on our website?
That's only like the last
So-
maybe month.
Like,
brand
like all
new.
the like board packets and all that stuff.
Yeah, so this is brand new, we're starting a newsletter that is, so if you go to our website, you should get a
There
pop-up.
should be a pop-up.
It will come up.
It's there, it came up today.
Yeah, it comes up, and, that's what I'm thinking is,
Yeah.
ideally, we'd have everybody put their website in there, and you just hit your website and click OK, and there you go. We haven't sent anything out on it, but I think that
This will
something
be a
like
good one.
this would be a
Yep.
good thing to, you know, if we had
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Absolutely.
Generate some interest.
right?
Just for clarification, the one in Howell was more than just data centers, it was for renewable energy
Looks like-
systems, crypto.
Crypto,
Yeah,
batteries.
Are we
Data.
thinking like in general, or were you thinking just specifically data centers?
I was gonna really go with specifically data centers.
Okay,
And part of the reason I say that is the planning commission's already working on the
Yeah,
okay,
renewable
I just thought,
ordinance.
yeah, clarify.
But, you know, like a similar thing could be established for marijuana regulation or something.
Yeah, going down the road if we have.
Yeah,
to,
it might
for
just be
sure.
a starting point with the data centers.
No, I think we all like community engagement, I think it's good, a good thing.
I think it's a great opportunity to get the residents involved.
Absolutely. Alright, well, we'll do some work on that and get it out to everybody.
so you and Janelle are gonna have this?
Janelle is, I'm just gonna stand there. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, discuss Tom Z.
I'm not discussing. I've given all the information.
So last meeting, Tom came, you remember the $3,800. You wanna take it, Janelle? or you wanna take it?
Well, after we met, you know, we wanted to kind of do a little bit more research. Kevin had already talked to Will, and, right, and Will had already told you pretty much, we're not on the line for a dime,
Yeah.
right? Nothing was approved. So this was more curiosity, what would it have cost if we went through our own, web service provider? And that is what is in your packet tonight. So Tom is asking for $4,000 to recoup his costs and the creation of his site, and this is just informational. Our company, same exact site with their material, so it would have been their video still because we had already paid for that. Our website company would have charged us $750.
That's the creation part of it, that wasn't there, hasn't he had like monthly upkeep on it or something for?
I believe he said he pays, what, like $40 an hour, is that what he said, for
$40 an hour.
security?
Per month?
Correct, I think that's what he said, wasn't it?
Yes. But we've been told we don't necessarily need to do that.
Or do we owe him for previous, is that where his number is including some, like his number's higher?
I don't remember what he said.
Well, even if it was,
Even
I
10
mean,
months is
he's,
$400, so it's not.
he hasn't had his website up for 18 months.
No, it was, he did say that in the meeting and that was not accurate.
So even if, it still doesn't come out to that much money, but. So what are you suggesting, Kevin?
Well, you've got 3 choices. You can either give him the $3,800, we can go to him and say, hey, we'll give you the $750, that's what we'd have spent anyway, or you can tell him we're not giving him nothing. To me, that's your 3 choices.
where does the monthly security into that at all? Is
That was what he recommended, that we would take over and pay for through whatever means we wanted, through our own,
So
if we wanted.
if we paid the $750, would we have incurred $40 a month for the current duration as part of costs already spent?
I think it would have been already included in our web,
Okay.
what we pay.
Then I vote for the $750.
I think the 750 is fair.
I think so.
I agree.
We don't owe him anything, he went ahead and did this without even asking us permission.
Go ahead.
With the possible inclusion of some component for our time, even though it's already paid for in our salaries, but somewhere hovering near $750.
Is that what the board, the majority is to offer him the $750?
I'll make a motion to that end and we can vote on
So before we vote though, so when we do that, we pay him, settle with him, he's gonna turn that website over to us.
Well, maybe.
We've gotta do something with it.
That would be the maybe, I guess that would probably, should be part of your motion.
Well,
Well, Mike, that would be my
Let's see.
opinion, we don't have a second on the table, we really should
don't-
have the support.
I'm fine with making the motion, but I'd like to see what he would do without that as part of the motion. If he would, to me, that's the right thing regardless.
I believe we
we've
say
already
would, 'cause
extended
it's our,
time.
it's our website, right, so he was gonna.
Well, it's our video, we already own the video,
Correct.
I'm happy to make it part of the motion.
so we already own the video, and he has the domain, The Mines of Oakland, whereas we had Mines of Oakland. And what did Shoemaker Technology say? That they would, use all site content to rebuild the site. Possibly less than $750 or possibly less if they can get it done quicker. So they're basically taking, from my understanding, what he's already created and just navigating it over to ours. Or something, I don't know, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but, he did say he would relinquish the whole thing.
The only other thing that
He
I.
has no need for it. He doesn't have any need for it.
Right,
And if he won't relinquish it, we still already own the video,
correct, the content would still be ours.
the content is
I'm
ours.
sure he would shut it down then instead of paying for it for nothing, right?
So the only other thing that I might
Just put it on ours.
say I don't even know if it's something we wanna consider. From my understanding, when he left, things were not complete, and we did not
Correct.
get a completed project.
Correct.
So, I don't know, is that attached to it? We'll entertain that when you complete the project, I don't know. But there is that to consider too. He did get $45,000 and 47, yeah, 47. And from everything that I know, and I know he worked more with you and Bob, who has disappeared, so that was weird.
Yeah, I was hoping Bob was gonna stay for this.
I know. But in all fairness, he really did get $47,000 and did not complete, again, this is from my understanding, so please correct me if I'm wrong, what we had asked him to do. So I don't know if that changes your opinion or but
You don't want my opinion.
well, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think the $750 is a show of good faith, and if he doesn't take the $750, to me, he can keep it. Just the way I feel about it. If he doesn't wanna give it to us for the $750 because he got more than enough money up front on the other deal, he can give it back to us for $750, or he can keep it. And out of spite, I would give Schumacher the $750 to redo it.
Okay.
You know what, my opinion is Tom will do the right thing.
I think Tom will too. I hope Tom does. How's it?
I would think, the affinity for the township, the long embrace, possibility of future mutual, business. If he doesn't, that tells us we don't wanna do business with him. So, I'm kind of supporting what Kevin says. let's offer the 750. We've got a methodology and a mathematics behind it that's defensible. And see what happens.
I'll make a motion then that, we offer Tom Zelensky $750, to relinquish the website to us, and if not, we will.
Kevin would be $750 for what he's done thus far.
Correct.
Toward the website, including relinquish.
Yep.
Permissions to it.
Let's go with that, Jim. I like it.
And I'll second it.
Would you roll call that, Laura?
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Keith Weiderholt.
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes.
Discuss Oakland County radio system contract. John, did you wanna touch on that?
Yeah, it's basically just a use agreements for their security. It just allows us to continue to utilize the systems. When they changed over from the old 800 system to the new 800 system that we're on now, they haven't redone the agreements. There's no money tied to it. It just allows us to be on the system for security purposes.
Does anybody got any questions?
Where are you guys gonna put this thing?
We already have it.
You already have
It's
it?
all already in use. Yeah, we've been on it for a year now.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just running a little behind the times.
Cause I read this whole thing and it says that you have to locate it someplace or another, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a base station and it's already there and all the new antennas for the systems are
Okay,
already in place.
so have they been invoicing you every 3 months yet, or did you
No.
say not yet?
No, that's, the invoicing is separate. It's part of the Clemens dispatch fees.
Oh, okay. Alright. Well, I don't have any questions then. Sounds like something that just has to be done.
Yeah. Anybody else? I'll make a motion that we accept the Oakland County P25 radio system user agreement.
Second.
Since there's no money, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, you wanna run over the conference stuff real quick?
Sure, there are two of them actually here on this line item. It's the MTA Capital Conference, which is coming up, excuse me, sooner rather than later. That is for Kevin and Keith, wanted to attend that. That is just a day trip. It's $100 for each of them. So, I would motion that we approve the $100 registration fee plus mileage for both Kevin and Keith to attend the MTA Capital Conference. Were you guys planning on just driving for the day?
Yeah, we're just going on and coming back. Yep.
That would be my motion.
I'll support that.
Or you wanna roll call that, please?
Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Keith Weiderholt.
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin.
Yes.
Janelle Keller.
Yes?
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
And then, I didn't print out the second one to find you final fees. But the MTA Annual Conference is, I believe it is April, what is it, the 20th through the 23rd?
Yeah.
Is that what I said for the other one?
Is it Monday through Thursday?
Yeah, Monday through Thursday, 20th through the 23rd. Kevin would like to go to this and attend the Monday session. I would not go till Tuesday. They have some pre-conference Township Governance Academy classes. So, this is a great,
This is Kevin.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess you could add me on that other one, it doesn't matter.
Well, the
His
other-
is the total, so for Kevin, his would be $400 plus the 125 plus hotel and mileage, and meals unprovided. And then mine, so that would be Sunday to Thursday, or are you saying till Friday?
No.
Alright, so Sunday to Thursday, and the reason for Sunday evening is because it does start early on Monday. Mine would be Monday to Thursday. So, I motion, and just so you know what this is this is the biggest conference for Michigan Townships Association that they put on every year. Ton of different vendors there, experts, and a number of elected officials, community members, or staff members, and just great workshops, great knowledge. Teresa and I went a couple years ago, I haven't been in a couple years. So anyway, that is what this is. So I propose that we permit Kevin to attend the annual conference from Sunday to Thursday. Registration fees $400 plus the $125, also including mileage, lodging, and unprovided meals, to come out of supervisor professional development. And I would also include in that my attendance as well at a cost of $400 for registration plus mileage, hotel, and unprovided meals to come out of clerk's professional development.
Is that a motion?
That was my motion.
A second.
Thank you.
Laura?
Keith Weiderhold,
Yes.
Kevin Scramlin,
Yes.
Chanel Keller.
Yes.
Teresa Bills.
Yes.
and Jim Christopher.
Yes.
Monthly reports. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the banking policy.
Consent?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Why don't
Thanks.
you just do Haya?
Great idea. Hiya, I don't have a whole lot. They actually just met again last Thursday, but I don't have any information about that just yet. One thing I did want to share though that I think is really interesting, and I'll just kind of pass this along. This shows you the whole hire report for January. There were 32 referrals. That includes Clarkson, White Lake, Springfield, Groveland, Rose, Holly, and the Village of Holly. Most places have 1 or 2. We have 9. So I think that's important that we keep those things in mind. We still don't have a hire representative if anyone would like to represent Groveland Township at the meetings. Other than that, some of this I gave you in January. They were working on budgets at the last meeting, and youth recognition is coming up along with a highest scholarship. So you can always find all their information right online.
Thank you. Teresa, BGYA?
BGYA, just a reminder, the BGYA volunteer breakfast, annual breakfast is next month, March 19th. Chief Williams, you should have gotten an invitation. It was I put it in the fire mailbox, but I also have one in my, the cubby over there, you know? So it's a half sheet, and, you know, like, the fire chief from Brandon, he usually goes, and Jason Wilton usually goes, and everybody dresses up in their uniforms and everything else, so, they like to, you know, include you guys, so I'm just making sure that you know that. And of course, the trustees are also invited. It is early in the morning at 7:30 a.m. over at the Brandon iTech Center. And that will give you a good idea of everything that BGYA does during the year. Youth recognition nominations are open right now through February 20th for students who, this year's theme is Youth Volunteers Inspire Us. So if you can think of anybody that you would like to nominate for something that they did during the calendar year of 2025, that's what we're looking for. And then, of course, there's updates on the Facebook and the website for both BGYA and for Brandon Schools. That's it.
Thank you. Keith, Planning Commission?
As we talked a little bit earlier about the budget, and other members asked for some historical information. I found that through the websites and some of that data for them. They would also like to reread those letters that I asked you about. Yeah, I haven't read them because I was new anyway, but somewhere.
Did Danielle give you those?
She said they were in a binder here in the,
Okay.
in the office, and she wanted
I
to
just wanted to
keep
make
them here, so.
Yeah.
I'll share that with the rest of the squad. What this note was. Oh, in the coming months, we're gonna work on the YO and then the master plan. We're gonna divide and conquer. We're gonna try to do like a couple different groups, so we can split up and work on YO and work on master plan and stuff, like with a subgroup. And come together as a body and come together.
Thank you. ZBA?
There was one petitioner that was, one petition rather, that was before the board. It was tabled. It involved a variance to put a trash container. I don't know how to make this quick, you guys. To put a trash container in public view on a property on Dixie Highway. And there were-
Dumpster.
Dumpster, can we do the enclosure?
Including the enclosure, my bad. And that was tabled in the short term for the petitioner to come up with alternate designs, potentially alternate materials. That's all we saw.
All right, thank you. Supervisor, obviously it was budget last month. We did have another meeting with DT, came in one day. There was some changes. They told us it was gonna be 3 years, $10 million. Bad news is they said it's gonna take 4 years. The good news is they're gonna give us $16 million. So that is quite a investment in our township. So hopefully better service is on the way. I did get notification, I sent that to you, didn't I, John? David Martin did file
Yes.
$950,000 for us for firewalls. So we will be leaning on him this summer to hopefully get that through, but I do wanna thank David Martin for putting those in for us. The OLSA program, we do have 2 seniors getting their driveways plowed, and I actually had a 3rd one in today. So we are getting some work done for some senior citizens. The master plan workshop last Wednesday, if anybody wasn't there, I think almost all of you were there. It was a great night, 100 people for our township. It really turned out good. One thing I did want to mention, what was it, a month, 6 weeks ago? If I say something wrong, correct me on this, John, that they sent out the state police deal on I-75.
It was a little over a month ago.
Yeah, state police anyway sent out a document saying they were not gonna respond to I-75. Well, after we got calling them, the reason it was put out is they were putting it out more for the municipalities in the city to have their own police departments, because they were showing up on these calls and the local police department was already there, so they were politely trying to say, don't waste our time. The flip side is, I'm just gonna throw Hamtramck out there, cause they're one of the ones I keep hearing about. A lot of them started complaining, saying, hey, we're all paying state taxes, and we have townships that have the state police for free. Why won't you guys come? So anyway, it gained enough traction that last Friday morning, I got a call from the Detroit News asking about us townships that have them for free. So I did plead our case with the guy and tell him the truth that the state police are here, but they are not free to our township. That we've housed them for 25 years, and they're getting ready to move into a facility that we've got $1.5 million in. So if you see an article in the paper or wonder why, I did get the facts out for our township that they're not free gratis to us. I'm sure there's a lot of politics in that too, though. Lisa McLean's office, I would like to thank them. They did give $750,000. That happened last week to the sewer project. It actually went to Oakland County Water Resource, and Oakland County Water Resource is filing again this year to try to get more money, but I would like to thank her for giving us that. Also, you will probably start to see some things. Their office asked a lot of the locals if we would help sponsor Southeast Michigan Job Fair. It's Thursday, August 13th from 11 to 3 at Oakland University. It's no cost to us, but it's the way they want us to push it and distribute materials. It's a good thing. So, we got signed up for that. And I think that's it. Janelle?
Let's see, okay, first thing, I wanted to, which maybe this is redundant, but I did feel like it was important. Mike Donellan came in, Radika talked about it as well, but, I was at the last meeting for master planning, and I was really disappointed in how everything unfolded on last Wednesday. Jim, were you on? I don't know who was here, I don't know who was there, who was not there, but, I think probably for those tables who knew what was happening and why we were doing it, it made sense. I had 3 different people at different tables come up to me at different times. I'm sorry, one of them actually came into the office, and share that they felt lost, there wasn't enough time, they didn't really understand what they were doing. Overall, there were not enough, I don't know about your tables, we had maybe 3 or 4 copies for a table of 10 people, and then they relied on scanning the QR codes. Most people had no idea what they were doing, and then unfortunately, and this is an accident, I get it, they had reversed the order on the survey. So even if they did figure that part out, and there's not great service, so a lot of people couldn't even access it. When the survey came up, it was reversed. So we were doing a workshop on streetscapes, and when you opened it up, data centers came up. So again, more confusion. So they had this, if they didn't catch that, you had to scroll all the way down to the bottom, go next, go to the next page, complete your data center, and renewable energies, whatever, I can't remember what was on that one. And then wait till the next project, and then scan it again and go back to the first page. So there's just a lot of confusion. And then the biggest thing that I'm just sad about, we put a lot of money into this. The last time we did this, we kind of did the same thing, but then they would put, like on the wall, every one of us would put up our big notepads. And then you went around and you put stickies on, oh, that one's important to me. And there was none of that whole wide community agreement.
Right.
So like this table put, let's just use Renaissance Festival, because the last time that was the biggest deal. You put Renaissance Festival, and you put Renaissance Festival, and you did on your group. Okay, so I assume that that's what they're gonna look at, believing that that's the most important thing for our community. So let's say right now, let's say it's best. Okay, we don't wanna hear that word, but I'm gonna use it, okay? So let's say that's what's on everybody's, but there's so much more to the master plan than that. Maybe if we would've said, district library. Maybe everybody would have said, oh my gosh, absolutely, let's do that. But there was no
ideas,
right. So do you understand what I'm
I
trying
agree
to
with you.
say?
I felt like it was rushed, and for
very
those of us
rushed.
that have never done it before, we needed some more guidance.
Well, we started probably 5 to 10 minutes late, and we were out of there by 8:30, and we had allocated 2 hours. So I guess that's just to tell you, I just felt really disappointed in that, and I understand what Mike Donellan is saying, is that we should have another one. Personally, I think they failed the first one. I know it's not very nice, but I was super disappointed. I love that the community came out. I'm so sorry if you didn't get your postcards. We really did try to get those to you in time. I know a lot of people are still getting them. I know, so sorry about that. We did, but I mean, it was a beautiful, we calculated more around 120 people. So it was great turnout. I couldn't be happier, especially because we shift the dates. But again, I did hear from a number of community members, and I knew what was going on, and I still experienced that, even myself.
I agree.
So
I felt like we
wanna
missed
share
a
that.
lot on the future part, what we would like, because
Right.
we spent a lot of time on the things we don't want.
Yeah, I don't think there was a general understanding of even the intention of it, so I don't know what you're gonna do with that feedback, but I was disappointed. On a side note, and moving on, you'll have a little newsletter in your assessment that's coming out, so those should be coming out.
The week of February 23rd is when the assessor has told the printers to put them in the mail.
Okay.
He said put them in the mail, I think, Friday the 20th.
Okay.
So,
So around my birthday, you'll get one of these in your assessment, okay? And this is just a little update. There's not a ton of information in there, but there is a ton of information, especially if you don't come regularly and sit in this room. So I'm just gonna send it to you guys. We'll send her down, and then obviously anybody else can see it, but you'll get it.
can I just wanna interject real quick. So, this was one of the things that, you know, as people were saying, we need better communication. So we talked about putting a additional piece of information in with the taxes, the tax bills, because, you know, people get a summer one and a winter one, but not everybody gets their tax bill. If you have your taxes in escrow, which is 1/3 of the community, you don't receive a duplicate tax bill. It's too confusing. Like, people have said, you know, in their municipality, they do send one out, but if you know your taxes are getting paid by escrow and you get a tax bill, you get confused, and you get, so we don't send everybody a tax bill, only those who are paying their own taxes. So therefore, we chose not to put something like this in with the winter and summer tax bills, because it wouldn't go to everybody. So this is the once a year notice of assessment, which I was gonna bring up when I speak anyway, so now I'll just tell it now. But it's the thing that tells you how much your taxes are gonna change and how much your assessed values change from 2025 to 2026, and gives you an opportunity to appeal at the Board of Review if you wish to. So all that information is coming, and that, it's important. You open it up and it says, this is not a tax bill. In that is also going to be this lovely newsletter that has all this information on it. So we're hoping that people will take those out and say, oh, look, something else is in here, and really look at that. And then also, Janelle didn't say this out loud, but at the bottom of that, somewhere it says, if you'd like to get our newsletters, please go to our website and put your email address in. So we're really trying to push that, okay?
Great.
All right, I met with our Toshiba representative. This is just more coming soon. We have about 4 months left on our contract with them. It ends in May. So we will either need to have a new contract, or we'll have to shift over to month. She did send you, I have no idea, I haven't looked at it. I know she sent it to you.
I think it does work out to be cheaper, and it was actually cheaper than the other one I'd gotten,
Okay,
so
oh, good.
we'll probably go that way. I wonder if they do multiple unit discounts. If we
Well,
all went that way,
Yeah,
we'd get a little bit.
maybe. I can ask her. She's wonderful to work with. And she did say, like, if we wanted to start and we needed to hold off, because I told her, I'm like, I don't know when they're getting in there, I don't know when they want it, if they did it. I mean, I was very open with her that you may not even be interested. But she was great. She was like, well, we can hold off on theirs if we need to, you know, so, we can figure that out. This is more just, this is coming, so be prepared. We will have to make some decisions probably. Do we have any interest in a different auditor?
No.
Okay, I feel the same way entirely, so I'm just gonna push that aside, but I did get communication, somebody was interested, so I figured it would be fair to
No, we
bring her.
love Ken.
I agree entirely. Just so you know, the recycling bin, Laura has been trying her darndest to try to find a replacement recycling bin, and it's just, nobody's buying recycled materials anymore. It's just impossible. I don't think you've had any other updates recently, have you?
I haven't had a single return phone call. I've called multiple larger companies. The only people I'm getting calls back are shredding companies that
Yeah.
they only do is shred.
Yeah. So we're trying for you, but unfortunately it's not looking great. The cable guy was in, we're gonna work on that, try to get all that. The only other thing I think I had here, oh, 2 things. First of all, I wanted to thank Laura specifically because she actually did the majority outside of that final resolution. She did the grunt work and the research for all the data centers.
I'm sorry, Laura, Janelle
I-
didn't tell me that.
I did think I did at the time.
I'm sorry, Laura.
Well, even finding that the Howell Township thing, like she did the grunt work, so I just wanted to make sure she got recognition for that. And the very last thing here, you'll see it in the flyer. Last year we did the community day, so if you want to mark this down too, hopefully this works for you guys, is Wednesday, May 20th. Tell me if that doesn't work.
Should.
we're gonna do that community day. We did it last year for the first time. We really like to do this annually, so we'll have all the resources here, hopefully the library. You'll get your dump passes, burn permits, whatever the fire department is able to offer, if you guys can offer anything. We'll do the hot dogs and drinks, but that's gonna be May 20th in bug spray. That's important. And I'm sure we'll come up with some new things to provide. What time did we do it last year?
I think we
6?
started at
5?
I thought it was
Five, I think.
5 to 7, I
I thought we
think.
did 5 to 7.
5 to 7? Did I put it on there?
I don't
I don't know if I did either. I don't know. Probably 5 to 7. Yeah, that's probably what we did last time.
I think that's exactly what it was.
I think that's it.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Okay. So besides those notices of assessments, to watch for those the week of February 23rd. We're busy right now with, next Tuesday being the last day you can pay taxes for 2025's tax roll. You can pay summer tax or winter tax in this office, without penalty by Tuesday the 17th. It's normally the 14th, but that's a weekend, and then there's the holiday. So the actual due date would be the 17th without penalty. And then we still will take payments here for anything in the 2025 tax year through the end of February. And dog licenses can be purchased here. They have gone to the new system DocuPet, and you can do it at home yourself online. But if you don't wanna put in all your payment information online and you wanna pay by check or cash, you can come in here and you can do that, and we can take your check or cash and enter your information for you without you having to put all your financial information in. And all the 2025 dog tags expire on March 31st of 2026. So I think that's about all I have. Oh, other than, and I was gonna do this, I really wanna give a good shout out to Angela Groveland, my most amazing deputy, because she always remains cool no matter what. And I will tell you, there are times when the people are piling up, and she's a very hard worker, and she's just always pleasant to all of the residents. So I appreciate all her hard work, especially at this time when it's crunch time, really. And Laura and Danielle also help out at the counter as needed, and I appreciate all of that, so.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. We'll open for public comment. Yes, sir.
On January 31st, I learned that of the 26 locations being set for data centers, one's in Springfield. I suggest instead of just having, I agree, big committees are horrible, but at least one person from Springfield, and seeing as south of Radley Lake Road, ITC's lines cross into Rose, that farmland's vulnerable to data center, or a little bit into Genesee County, because they're gonna follow that wire.
No doubt about that.
Lion Township also.
Yeah.
Those wires can't really handle us plus a data center.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Greg.
I'm Greg. Now there's a whole lot to unpack tonight. Happy birthday, Janelle, early. And anybody else's birthday this month. Hey, John, what kind of tires are on the fire trucks? I don't have to buy stock in that.
I know, right?
Dude, really? But, regarding the data centers, because everything you see on the internet is so true. I've seen some reels out of Michigan City, Indiana, I think it is. That the board, the township board there, or the city board, I think the city, they passed a resolution, not a resolution, but the ability for a data center to go in there, even though all the community members said no. And you can probably look up all kinds of data on it or film on it. But anyways, the bottom line is that they're giving this data center, from what I understand, about a $6 million tax abatement. It's like, why are you giving them a tax abatement? Bring the money here and give a raise, a $5 or $10 raise to the fire department. It's like, it's silly, it's like, why are you
to give them money away and say, hey, you wanna come here, okay, fine, but we're gonna tax the heck out of you. Just to support the fire department and the community, so. There's more, I'm sure, but I don't wanna go down too many rabbit holes, otherwise go to California and get the money for the high-speed rail and bring that here instead. Anyways, shut up, Greg.
Hi, Jim Kaminsky. About the roads, I also noticed, like, they want to put roundabouts over the Grange Hall in 75. I don't think that might be the best idea, just something to keep under consideration, because sometimes it does get icy. And then because we have like the step sign, sometimes I drive that route like every morning and night. Sometimes you slip a little bit, and having a roundabout on something that could be icy, where the bridge can get a bit icy, and it snows pretty good, having trouble seeing it, trucks would probably run over the curb and knock it off anyways. It's real expensive, and once you're going downhill from both ways, having to cut a turn when you're heading downhill and get that momentum might, and because the roads don't have huge shoulders, might result in possible off-road hazards and stuff of that sort. On the other note, there are some roads I would like to throw in that my subdivision, we are actually looking, I live in the Woodland Pines sub, and we are actually looking to pay to have the whole sub repaved ourselves. Why? Because, and everyone's like wondering, it's like, oh, this is our responsibility because it's an HOA. No one knew, it's like, no, it's Michigan will do it, but they won't do it. I ended up paying $1,600 out of pocket to get the front page, which someone generously spray painted in the face, but it was clean, who cares? But we only got a couple potholes, and then it was just stuff, and then once winter hit, the plows came through and just shoved all the asphalt on our lawn. So, I mean, maybe instead of getting $1.6 million, could maybe we just get traffic lights where the cars can go straight, and maybe something like Wolf Road that, especially in the winter, whenever it gets wet, I know you guys grade it, but maybe it might be cheaper, or maybe you're trying to avoid it being a high traffic area for people cutting through around Grange Hall and 15. Maybe pave that, because that thing turns into a shocking tire killer. But yeah, but all in all, a lot of roads are great, but there's some more high traffic ones, and maybe there's some other projects maybe we can throw in.
Yeah, the only thing I'll tell you about the roundabouts over there, that is a county road, and coming off them ramps, that's why NDOT's involved. So our township, I hate to say, we have no say in what they do there. And it all goes on traffic flow and stuff. As far as your subdivision goes, don't feel bad, because the older subs in Rochester and Troy and that, even the ones that the county maintain, they're telling them now, Lake Orion's in a fight. They tell them, oh, we'll never repave your road. We don't have that money. They're setting up special tax districts, SADs, special assessment districts, to pave them older subdivisions. The county and the state just are telling them, we do not have the money. We will never fix your subdivision streets.
Yeah, and we're looking at it and saying, okay, what's going to cost? It's going to cost like if we don't redo the curbs and like the storm drains, it'd be like like maybe 2,000. It's like, yeah, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But yeah, I would say we pay part of it, but
yeah,
because it'd be well worth it to us.
Oh, sure. Anybody else?
Yeah, first I want to thank you guys for holding that master plan meeting. I agree with you, Janelle. It was nice to just have it and be able to express feedback, and it was really great to see the turnout. And just coming back even to your point, Jim, like there's a lot of ideas on things that we need to do in the township. So maybe we can revisit that, which would be wonderful if we could do that. I love the idea of the data center committee and the moratorium. I appreciate your board and putting a 1-year moratorium on. I think that's really smart. Gives us a chance to just reevaluate. And I agree with you, Kevin, to look at all sides. We all kind of hate it, right? Nobody wants it. But we got to look at all of it and be prepared for the reality of what might come. So I want to thank you guys for putting thought into that. And I think we all look forward to helping with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I should have led with that. Sorry. It's late.
It's late. You're right. Anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just a smile for you. There is a documentary called free for all about libraries. It's beautiful, and it shows how much the libraries can do. And this one in Holly Township is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it's a new world.
thank you.
Karen?
I just, I'm trying to formulate my words. I haven't given any feedback about the master plan, because again, I don't wanna move backward, but move forward, but, sitting in on other types of workshops, usually you'd work as a group, then it'd be quiet, and then you would like kind of come together. It doesn't matter how many people you have. And I was trying to wonder if it was due to the building or whatever, but it felt a little rushed. It felt as if there was a lot more topics that could have been included. For example, the wants and the don't wants. My understanding anyways, when there was a comment made, is that it's gonna be scanned or whatever, or those maps are gonna be scanned, and where do you want stuff? I think it would've been good once you get more minds together, you can kind of be like, oh yeah, I could let that go, versus no, that one does really matter, or that one is really a don't versus. And I would have liked to have seen more of that across the board. And again, been in many large groups and have had to have everybody's attention at one time, and that is a doable thing. I just don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I guess I expected more than what we got our bang for our buck, so to speak. And not to poo-poo people, it's not a personal thing, it's just when you put so much time and effort into something, it would be good to get as much out of it as you can, that's all. Love the things I'm hearing tonight in many different ways, and some of my time is freeing up in other areas, and I think you guys have seen a bit of me in a year and a half, but you may just see me a little bit more often unless you're really sick of me. But I really do appreciate this board's taking what the community is saying, and not just them coming to a couple of us and us trying to tell you. I'm glad that people are beginning to speak up for themselves.
Good.
That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we'll close public comment. Anybody want to make a motion?
I move that we adjourn our township board meeting and open our fire meeting at 9:22.
Keith, second. All those in favor? Aye.
Oh, it's very good.
John, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks for hearing me tonight. Start with the apparatus and equipment. Hasn't been too bad with breakdowns. Just a few minor repairs to the trucks, replace a switch on tanker 2, a mirror on Alpha 3. We had a fuse block on brush 2 that had overheated and melted. It was replaced. We did make a switch to rec fuel. The constant maintenance we had to do, we rebuilt all the carburetors on everything, and hopefully that'll take care of a lot of the issues we've had with them. At Station 1, the pulley on the generator governor, it spun off. We were lucky to find a machine shop in Springfield there who repaired it for us. It's an old unit, we were unable to locate one, so ended up getting that fixed for free. The furnace and MSP is out of service. The heat exchanger on it cracked. We opted not to repair it at this time. Usually they have the windows open and the air conditioner running year round, so I didn't see the need for it. Because all the heat rises up, there's nothing between us. Unfortunately, a pipe in the attic at Station 1 also broke, flooded out the entire training room, so it was floating. It actually had minimal damage when it was all said and done, just a roof ceiling in the closet and some old computers that were in the closet underneath it. Station 2, we took out the old extractor that was there and moved the washing machine over into its place because we had some frozen pipes over there too. So we opened up the wall and got them thawed out before they broke, luckily. And then one of the heaters over there, the blower motor went out, and we got it in the other day, so hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get that fixed. On the personnel, Caleb Fairless has completed his 3rd rides, and he's doing shifts now, so it's helping fill our void. Jordan Accord, he went on his own and found a VFIS class, and he passed that, and he is doing his 3rd rides now, and he's doing well. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on shifts. Jacob Jones got his vehicle VFIS instructor certificate. We'll be holding one of those classes here coming in the spring. Then Fairless and I attended a Red Line Leadership class at SEC that was put on through the Mavis 3202 group. And it was 2 days. It was pretty informative. It was good stuff. I did send a letter to support the para EMT, the House Bill 222, to Congresswoman Lisa McLean, and the article on it's attached. Hopefully improve our recruitment for firefighter medics. And then I have a short statement on our workforce update. Things are slowly improving for us with the onset of a few people and a couple coming back to work, so our gaps are pretty full at this time. So kudos to that, making good progress. EMS, there's a e-bridge we use to communicate with the hospital. They wanted us to implement this in lieu of the hospitals providing radio systems to communicate on the 800s. So started using this a couple years ago, and it was a very simple program to communicate with them. It was just a couple of topics you had to import and let them know you're on the way, patient information. Now they've built it out where they want a full set of demographics on the patient, their age, gender, their driver's license, their social security number, and all their insurance billing information. So it's just becoming quite the hassle and time consuming for us. Unknown if we're gonna continue to participate in it. EMS report cards are attached. They're all good as normal. The EMS AAA advisory on Medicare relief extension, that's the increase in funding for us. They did extend that for 2 years, so we'll get the extra 3% on our Medicaid and Medicare billing. Also, the emergency medical service reimbursement for on-scene care support has been reintroduced, so that's anytime we go and provide care for someone who's on Medicaid or Medicare, they will hopefully under this act pay for that where insurance normally does for other ones that we bill, instead of deferring that onto the patient itself.
Is that at the house?
Yeah, so if we go on scene and bandage somebody
Or
or.
I'm saying, was it reintroduced into the house?
Yes, yeah. Send a letter to Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services for the Medicare Advantage Plan, so they would pick up the cost of their co-pays. You can see it's one of the highest in the nation, that we pay $293 or $94. So this letter was sent in for that, support of that. Training committee is finalizing the calendar for the 26-27 year, and as soon as that's done, it'll be sent out to all the area departments so we can all participate in a group and be able to go to each other's trainings. Our winter operations have gone well so far. They've reduced our breakdowns and injuries. Our NFIRS to NEARS has been going quite well. It's been up and running for the last 2 months with no reported issues. the good thing is, we went round and round with Progressive Insurance. They've never ever paid for one of our cost recovery bills. They were being billed under the guise that we were doing cleanup on scene, and the tow truck companies bill for that. So I was able to find where there was legislation that allowed us to do cost recovery and under what guise, and I sent them that and our cost recovery ordinance along with some other things, and they finally agreed to pay us from here on out. So hopefully we'll see some positives from that. And then just over the last couple of weeks, due to the weather, we've had several large PI incidents on 75, and as always, people drive pretty poorly, and had some close calls out there where even with the implementation and expansion of our TIMs, we set up trucks further and further back, and they just cut through and drive all over the place. That's why the big push for the construction zone safety and everything, but people don't ever pay attention to it. It seems like they're drawn into the lights in our reflective gear, unfortunately. Company training, again, our CTC funds went with Springfield and Highland to put on the instructor courses and officer classes, so hopefully we'll have the date scheduled for that coming out later in the fall when everybody's done with their vacations, and we'll have good attendance out of that. Trained on the EMS documentation, our radio communications, and then the big push this year is to get everybody through all their ICS classes. 1 and 200 are generally now done in fire school, but it's some of them don't do it, so we have few that are lacking and some that went 20 some years ago that don't have it, and 7 and 800 which are done online on your own. Once they complete those, then they want to try and get the county will come up here and put on additional incident command classes for us, which will help towards attaining grants and just our operations. Everybody's going through their traffic incident management classes. We've had pretty good luck with people doing that. HIPAA, bloodborne pathogen, and protocol updates are going well. Most of the departments through those. And we're also doing the Paradigm Pipeline Safety Program training online. And we have the Buckeye and Bridge pipeline that runs through the corner of the township up there. And once we get that training, hopefully we'll be able to apply for grants through them. And then Stacy's the grant lady, she'll talk about.
All your extras. So we got the CBD grant funds released, so the gear has been ordered. Some of it's actually started to come in, and we also ordered the lights today. As soon as I get the last bill on those, then we can close that grant out. We're still working on AFG grants. Supposedly the rumor is all three of those big three AFG grants are gonna open at the same time. I did talk to FEMA last year. We haven't heard back on the SAFER grant. They said they will put out the results of last year's SAFER before they open the new one. So hopefully that will happen soon. We're still working on the AFG grant for the cardiac monitors with NACFA, Holly, and Oxford. We got the power plan grant. Dash cams are in and being installed in all the vehicles. We got the skid unit ordered for the mule through the DNR matching grant. That's about a 15-week until it's delivered. The SAFER grant, we're still waiting on DNR grant applications. So there's a couple different programs with the DNR. The skid unit was one of the programs. The other one is how we got the mule and the air trailer and the pickup truck. We have applied for some other things that got lost in paperwork last year, so I did just reapply for those again this year.
pipeline safety grant, we did apply for thermal images through Enbridge. And then, we got the letter from Representative Martin for about $1 million for 10 new wells in the township. His letter of
Request.
for discretionary funds. So hopefully, we'll get something from that. And then there's constantly working on more grants.
Yep. And again, Representative Martin and in his office have been amazing to work with. They've been on top of everything and respond right away, so it's really pleasant to work with them.
I was very shocked how fast they responded. It was pretty cool.
And then last month we had 105 runs, and compared to the year before we had 85, and that's mainly attributed to the weather, increased traffic accident volumes. That counts and breakdowns are attached. Mount Holly, last month we had 11 runs, so not too bad on average and nothing serious out of there. Actually, we had no big incidents or anything of interest. I guess the biggest one we had was a chicken coop fire over on Bird Road. Middle of the night, unfortunately they weren't home. The neighbor called and it was pretty much all gone by the time we got there. And there was no chicken tracks running away from it. Yeah, she did call a couple days later because I couldn't get the owner's information. So she was very happy. Wasn't really worried about the chickens, I guess. The daughter went to check and saw that it was burnt down, so she called us.
That was the only thing that burnt though, it didn't spread to anything else?
Nope, it was contained right to that. So it was way out in the back corner of their property.
Okay.
So luckily, and it was lit by I suspect a heat lamp that was too close. It was the only thing electric in there that was still attached. Then community outreach. We have the smoke detectors back in stock. So yes, we do. And if you know anybody or have anyone coming in, send them up, please. The Citizen ran the article on the 911 issues we had where callers weren't getting through. Thanks to David for running that. If you have any problems with it, then try to text 911. And they have much better luck with communication that way. We've had several public safety announcements, and then Sergeant Millar is in the process of establishing a formal company inspection system where we go out to different businesses throughout and do company walkthroughs so we all know the layout. And then just a closing statement. Pretty much we're making steps for the positive. Things are coming together slowly, so we'll continue to work that way.
Thank you, John. Public comment? I don't see
Be
it.
safe.
Thank you.
Take a motion.
I tried to be fast. I'd request a
Oh, I'm sorry.
closed session again.
Oh, okay, no problem. Oh, we can do that. We can do that.
The gift that never ends.
Yeah. It's like, why?
Do we make a motion to close the open
I think the Rose Township guy is.
Oh, did he?
I actually was like,
We are resumed.
All right, anything else?
I don't think so. I don't think, we don't really need to take any action.
I am, but I totally
That was
forgot
more just
exactly what it was I was gonna, like, you know what I'm saying?
You want to make a motion?
Does anybody have anything to say?
I just asked.
You
Anybody
did?
got anything?
I motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, but there was something I was just gonna tell you, or